So have you ever been in a situation where you want to do something with all your heart, your soul, your mind, but your actions do the complete opposite? For instance, you want to diet and lose weight, but you just can't stop eating, or you want to be wealthy, but you can't stop spending money that gets you into more debt. Sound familiar? Well, my next guest is a life coach who helps her clients face their shadows, and she calls this phenomenon shadow beliefs. I'm talking about none other than Leah Seafor. Welcome back. It's good to have you on the show. I totally get this. Sometimes we think it's a function of willpower. We really want to sort of mind muscle our way to a better life, but we keep on doing things that sabotage that. And this is called shadow beliefs.
Absolutely.
I love the quote that you just mentioned to me. You never get what you deserve or what you want. You get what you believe.
Yeah.
Right? Let's talk about that.
Well, your life is where it is because of all of your belief systems. Everything that you have achieved and everywhere you are is because you believe that that's where you are meant to be.
Yeah.
And a lot of these beliefs are subconscious. So it's very hard consciously to say, but I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be overweight. Surely I don't believe that that's the right thing.
True.
And subconsciously there is it's not that there's a belief of, you need to be overweight or you need to be, unwealthy. It's a belief of, I don't deserve. I am not enough.
Yes.
I don't know how.
Yes.
This is too hard.
Yeah.
And, what you do in one area of your life is basically how you're going to operate in all areas of your life. So if you have a belief in one area of this is too hard, it will find a way of manifesting through all of the areas. It's too hard to save money. It's too hard to stick to an eating plan. It's too hard to find a relationship with someone.
Yeah.
So the identifying core beliefs around that are sabotaging you, it requires a journey of going to the subconscious. It requires working to uncover what is the source of that belief.
Doesn't someone have to want to, though, to discover what's in their subconscious?
Of course.
Yeah, it has
Any
to start
journey of
with the
discovery,
desire, right?
absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
And a willingness to admit that there's some pattern going on here.
Yes.
It's very easy to complain, I never have enough money, or
yes.
I can't have the body that I want. I add the word because to the end of that. I don't have money because. Then you're going to identify what your belief is around money. I can't lose weight because it's so hard. Well, where is the so hard coming from? Where is I don't have money because, I don't deserve it? Or where's that coming from?
Yeah.
So when you have constant things that are not manifesting in your life, even though you wish they would, it's ask yourself why.
Yeah, those depth charge questions.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to dig a little bit deeper when we come back. When Real Health returns, we continue our chat to Leah Seafor about how shadow beliefs, and also we want to find out how to treat these beliefs successfully, or how to move to creating less limiting belief systems. So do stay tuned. Welcome back to Real Health. If you've just tuned in, I'm chatting to life coach Leah Seafor about our shadow beliefs, or self-limiting beliefs. These are unconscious beliefs that drive your actions and behaviors in all areas of your life and can sometimes be in conflict with your conscious desires. You can perhaps, after listening to this, you can spot it in yourself. How do you sort of see it in other people and help them navigate that journey? Or is it something that we're just dealing with in our own space? Because it's very easy to point fingers, right?
Very easy. And yet, in a way, the judgment you have about other people is also a mirror to what the belief is about yourself. We're going to believe things in a very, this is right, this is wrong, this is acceptable, this is unacceptable. And we will judge people accordingly. So if you want to look at what you're really judging about other people, it's a real indicator of where your beliefs sit about yourself. That may be showing you why you can't really get that thing. If you judge rich people to be snobbish, or rich people are uncaring, or rich people don't do enough to make a difference in the community, and your value system is one of being very grounded and real and caring, and you're going to find that that kind of conflict there, that subconsciously you're going to think, I can't be rich, because then it's going to embrace values I don't agree with.
Yes.
So it's what is your judgment about the thing that you're actually wanting? What is your judgment about somebody who's lost the weight, somebody who's very thin or very beautiful? What is a point of view you have about that? Well, you can't be clever and pretty. And if you look like that, then men will only want for your looks and not for your mind. So you have value systems that drive your judgments, and those judgments will trigger the deeper beliefs you have about why you're not manifesting.
But then it almost becomes a vicious cycle, because then you see what you believe, which reaffirms what you believe.
Of course, and it is a self-fulfilling prophecy all the time. So to stop that cycle, you have to identify, like you said, what the belief is that you're feeling stuck with around anything you want wanting to manifest in your life that you're not, what is going on there? What is the belief you have? If you're struggling to find that, that's when you come and work with a coach, or you work with a therapist to investigate what the belief actually is. Once you have that belief, now you start questioning, and for me, questioning is like the real dissolving solution for belief systems. You know, when did I start to believe this about myself? Why do I believe this about myself? Who taught me this? And why did I make it my truth? The more you start questioning why you believe something, the more it starts to, the stability of that belief begins to wobble. And now you have the opportunity to replace it with, what would I like to feel instead? So I don't want to believe, you know, that earning money or getting wealthy is hard. I would love to believe that it's an exciting journey and it's a great challenge. So I would like to believe, or I would like to feel. And now you've got to look at behaviors you've got to shift, or action steps you've got to take towards creating new habits around what you want instead. Because our beliefs are driven by daily habits. You know, anything that we indulge in on a regular basis becomes the habit. So it's the habit of belief. We may not genuinely believe that thing anymore, but we're stuck in the habit of it.
That's true. That's very true.
So breaking habit is a very important part of breaking limiting belief systems.
And you also mentioned that, you know, people create vision boards. I mean, I'm a huge fan of vision boards, but it's not magic. You're not just putting a picture of a Ferrari on your wall and then in a few months' time you're going to have a Ferrari. There's work that's required, and you actually have to engage with your belief systems around those vision boards. So where's that gap, and how can people bring it closer?
So the big hairy goal is something I don't find works. Because you genuinely don't believe you can get it. You know, it's great to say I'd love to earn 100,000 rand this month if you're currently earning 6,000 rand salary. It's just too much of a leap. So you've got to do it incrementally. You have to do something that proves to yourself that you are capable of doing that. So if you're following an eating plan, you've got to prove to yourself that I got through a day and I did it all well, and I did that, and I accomplished that. And now I'm going to make it 3 days, and now I'm going to make it 5 days. And every time you complete that, you're now shifting a belief you have in yourself of A, it wasn't that hard, and B, I can do it. But people put pressure of, I need to lose 10 kilos in a week. And suddenly that's unacceptable, not unacceptable, but it's unobtainable. So it's the same in with money. What are the bad habits you have with money? You say you want to save money, but you keep going to buy those shoes, or you keep getting into further debt. Well, how about you just look at today, what can I shift about my behavior around money? So instead of going to buy that thing I don't need, I'm going to move it into my savings account. It's an incremental behavior that you wake up the next day going, I did it. And I now know I can.
And you don't feel like a failure because you actually could achieve it.
And because it was achievable. It wasn't like I'm going to try and save everything and then not eat tonight. It's workable in small increments, and that really does build to the big stuff. Because after a month of saving, now you've got quite a decent amount of money. Now you have the faith that you can do it, and it's not so hard. So that's the gap, is incremental. Don't try and leap from where you are to this big idea of where you want to be without believing genuinely that you can do it.
Some self-limiting beliefs are really hard to tackle.
Of course, I'm making it sound pretty easy, but it's not. There's a lot of very deeply entrenched things, and like you said, sometimes not even accessible. So that's where the work with an individual therapist or coach would come in, is how do you begin to really dig deep to understand that.
Some people have, they've gone and retreated within themselves. They don't believe that they have these self-limiting beliefs. How does one coax it out and sort of, without being too negative, saying, hey, why don't you check the way you think about that? Well, you are quite beautiful. We love your curly hair. You know, why don't you wear it like that a little bit more often?
Which is going to be very hard if you keep surrounding yourself with the same people all the time that keep you stuck in that message of.
And you also don't want to feel like you're criticizing, or you don't want them to interpret it as criticism.
Look, I think it's such a powerful thing in any relationship, a friendship or a sibling or a parent or a lover, to be able to be brave enough to speak the truth to someone you care about and say, I say this with love. But have you noticed that you are constantly angry about everything? You treat everything with anger, whether it's being with me or someone cutting you off on the road or getting your bank statement each month, or everything that happens to you, your only response is one of anger. And maybe it's something to look at. Why are you angry all the time? Because emotion is a big indicator of where you're stuck in a negative belief. When people are always irritated, when people are very often sad about everything, when people feeling hopeless about everything. Now, I don't know whether
everyone else is the problem except for them.
Exactly. And the only way is holding up that mirror and saying, you can't keep pointing the finger at everybody else. You are the common denominator in all of your sad stories. So either you've got to own that and realize that you've got some work to do, or you will be in denial and the things in your life that you want won't happen.
Yes. Do you believe in affirmations, mantras, prayers in order to try and now recreate? It's almost part of this neuroplasticity and forming new neural pathways and new beliefs and thoughts.
Absolutely.
Okay.
When done in the right way and when done consistently.
Okay.
Because it very much backs up how you shift habit.
Yes.
So when you've got habit of belief of I'm not good enough, the new mantra or affirmation or statement would become I am more than enough, or I'm enough in everything that I do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't help to say that once, because genuinely you don't believe it. You've held on to a belief for 30, 40, 50 years.
Now you want to change
one mantra is not going to change that.
Yeah, exactly. And one mantra in a month is not going to change that,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
But one sit-up is not going to give you a six-pack.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But what is very powerful is when what you think and what you do is at the same time. So as you are activating a change in behavior and thinking, I am enough in what I do, it's that neuroplasticity you're talking about, that wiring, the new neural pathways around action and behavior and speaking, which creates a new way. And that takes time. And research is changing all the time. We used to think it was 21 days to create a habit. Latest research shows it's around 60 days to create a habit.
Okay.
And I think it depends what habit are you trying to create or change.
And how deeply ingrained has that habit?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to change the habit when you are in the same environment that created the problem.
Yes, okay.
So the environment has to shift. Okay. You can't be on a diet if the rest of your family are all eating rubbish and leaving chocolates and cake on the kitchen counter that you'll walk past every day.
Yeah.
That has to be removed from sight, so you can shift that. You can't save money or clear your debt if you're engaging in the same spending that you've always done.
Yes.
So you've got to shift the environment or stop what you were doing that was creating the problem and create affirmations and actions in a new direction of what you do want.
When it comes to affirmations, just before we close off, I've read and I've heard that it needs to be formulated completely in the positive, no negative words. Okay, that sort of sounds self-explanatory, but when I say no negative words, like don't use the word not.
Yes.
Because your brain doesn't pick that up. Is that true?
Yeah, your brain doesn't process negatives directly.
Okay.
In other words, what I don't want you to think about is a red beach ball.
Yeah.
You just thought of a red beach ball. But what I do want you to think about is feeling empowered and sexy in a beautiful body. That you can visualize. So what happens when I say don't think about something is that your mind will bring the information up to go, oh, is this what we're not supposed to be thinking about?
Yeah.
And what do people do? I don't want to feel ugly about myself. I don't want to be poor.
Yeah.
I don't want to be unhealthy.
Yeah.
And then you are just thinking more of what you don't want.
Yeah.
So absolutely right. When you're doing an affirmation, it has to be I am.
Okay.
And preferably not even I will, because that's also putting it in a future-based time frame.
Look at it in the present.
I am enough. Yeah. I am healthy. Yeah. I am wealthy in the present moment.
Okay. Well, Leah, thanks so much for that. Such insightful thoughts, and looking forward to creating empowering beliefs that we can start with right now as well.